This car had a twin-turbo V6, a carbon Kevlar body, a racing pedigree, and a style straight out of Monaco. It could hit 181 miles per hour, went 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and was the first car in the world to use carbon ceramic brake standard. But chances are, you've never heard of it. This is the Venturi 400 GT, the forgotten French supercar that tried to take on the Ferrari and almost pulled it off. To understand the 400 GT, you need to understand Venturi, a name most people outside of France have never said out loud. Founded in 1984 by two French engineers, Claude Poirot and Gerard Godefroy, Venturi was meant to be France's answer to Porsche, Lotus, and eventually Ferrari. They wanted to create elegant, lightweight, mid-engine sports cars with real performance, but wrapped in French luxury. Early Venturis like the MVS Venturi 200 and 260 Atlantique were good. They used Peugeot and Renault parts, had great handling, and came with turbocharged V6s. But they never got the spotlight, overshadowed by the giants of Germany and Italy. So in the early 1990s, Venturi decided to go big. Not just a better sports car, a supercar, a machine that could fight Ferrari head-on, both on the street and the track. Enter the Venturi 400 GT. Launched in 1994, the 400 GT was the road-going version of the Venturi 400 Trophy, a purpose-built race car designed for a single-make racing series started by Venturi founder Stéphane Rattel. The bones were pure motorsport. Under the hood, or rather behind the seats, sat a 3.0-liter V6 borrowed from Peugeot and Renault, but heavily modified. With twin turbochargers, the engine cranked out 402 horsepower and 380 pounds-per-foot of torque. This wasn't some tuner's fantasy. This car was capable of 0 to 60 in about 4.7 seconds, a top speed of 181 miles per hour, and thanks to its low weight, under 2,800 pounds, it moved. But the real magic wasn't just its speed. Hold up. If you're into rare beasts like this, cars that made history and got buried by it, hit that subscribe button. We dig deeper than anyone into the forgotten supercars that deserve a second look. We love it that you're here, and your support means the world to us. Okay, the Venturi 400 GT wasn't just fast, it was technically revolutionary. It was the first production car in the world to come standard with carbon ceramic brakes. Today, that's something you expect on a Lamborghini or McLaren. In 1994, it was unheard of. The brakes were developed with Carbon Industry, a company that normally built systems for Formula One, and the stopping power was insane. The 400 GT could go from 60 to 0 in under 100 feet, unheard of for the time. The body was made from a carbon Kevlar composite, helping the car stay light and stiff. It had double wishbone suspension at all four corners, a limited slip diff, and race-style coilovers. Inside, it was still French, leather, Alcantara, and just enough creature comforts to remind you this wasn't a full-blown track car. But let's be clear, it felt like one. The seats were snug, the gearbox was clunky, the engine noise was brutal. This wasn't a car you cruised in, this was a car you committed to. Before the 400 GT came the Venturi 400 Trophy, the race car that laid the foundation. Venturi created one make racing series called the Gentleman Driver's Trophy, held across Europe. The idea was simple. Wealthy enthusiasts could buy a track-ready Venturi 400, fly in on race day, suit up, and race hard in equal machinery. Kind of a luxury version of Formula Ford, except with 400 horsepower twin-turbo missiles. The racing version had even less weight, more aero, and minimal sound insulation. Drivers loved them. They were fast, precise, and uniquely French. Venturi also entered endurance races. The 400 GT competed in Le Mans, GT1 racing, and the BPR Global GT Series, running against McLaren F1 GTRs, Ferrari F40s, and Porsche 911 GT2s. And while it didn't dominate, it held its own, especially for such a small outfit. It was France's first serious entry into modern GT racing, a precursor to teams like Oreca and Pescarolo. So, with all this going for it, why did the Venturi 400 GT vanish? Number 1. Timing. The early 1990s were brutal for boutique automakers. The global economy dipped, supercar sales dropped, and only the strongest brands survived. Number 2. Marketing. Venturi had almost no reach outside Europe. There was zero U.S. presence, no big ad campaigns, no dealer network, no celebrity endorsements. If you didn't read French car magazines in the 90s, you probably never even knew this thing existed. Number 3. Price. At nearly 2 million francs, or around $250,000 today, it was priced like a Ferrari, but without the badge or the brand prestige. Enthusiasts admired it, but few were ready to take that leap. Number 4. Financial instability. Venturi struggled with cash flow throughout the 1990s. They were constantly chasing funding, restructuring, and trying to stay afloat. Eventually, they pivoted into electric sports cars in the 2000s, long before the world was ready. In the end, only 13 Venturi 400 GTs were ever made. That's it. Fewer than the Ferrari Enzo. Fewer than the McLaren F1 LM. This is one of the rarest supercars ever built. Today, the 400 GT is a collector's dream, if you can find one. The last time one sold publicly, it went for around 250,000 euros, but prices are only climbing. Most are tucked away in European private collections. Very few leave the continent. You won't see one at Cars and Coffee. You won't even see one at Goodwood. And that's part of the mystique. The 400 GT didn't fail because it wasn't good enough. It failed because it was too good, too early, with no support behind it. It's the classic story of an underdog brand building something brilliant, but not having the machinery or the money to get into the spotlight. So why should we care about the Venturi 400 GT? Because it proves that greatness doesn't just come from billion-dollar brands. It comes from passion, from engineers pushing the limits, from companies willing to take risks, even if it means going bankrupt trying. The 400 GT brought racing tech to the road before anyone else. It pioneered carbon ceramic brakes, composite construction, and track-ready performance in a street car. It raced at Le Mans. It beat expectations. And then it vanished. But more than anything, it's a reminder that the supercar world used to be weird, unpredictable. Anyone could show up with a wrench, a dream, and a twin-turbo V6 and try to dethrone the kings. Today's car world feels safer, cleaner, but the 400 GT? It was dangerous, and that's why it still matters. The 400 GT isn't just rare, it's criminally underrated. It had the numbers, it had the looks, it had the racing resume, but without the brand power to back it up, it faded into the shadows. Now, decades later, it's finally getting the respect it deserves. From collectors, from historians, and from anyone who respects what it takes to build a world-class supercar from scratch. Would you take this over a Ferrari 355 or a Porsche 911 Turbo of the same era? Or is this just another beautiful failure? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more underdog legends like this one, you know what to do.